I'll be going through the answers quickly, so make sure your course book is open and in front of you. And please stop and rewind the video as you need to. So, got your book open in front of you? Are your answers in capitals? Want to know why the answers are the answers? Then let's go. For question number 1, let's understand the context here. What's it basically trying to say? Well, the basic message is that all people deserve a second chance, and there's nothing wrong with that. The only problem is that the answer that I've just given you can't work because it's 2 words instead of 1. So we've got to think of a pronoun which means the same as all people. Well, we've got 2 options. We can either say everyone or we can say everybody. And for question number 2, exactly the same idea. We need a pronoun to basically mean that all of us are not. Well, the pronoun that we need here is none. After all, none of us is perfect. For question number 3, all we've got to do here is choose the correct preposition which collocates with protest. Well, we've got 2 options here that we can use given the context. We can either protest about something or we can protest against something or somebody. So that's why the answer can be either one of those. For question 4, the key word here is the substitutive word after the gap, occasion. Occasion refers to both protesting about or against American policy, and it refers to tax reasons. So we've got 2 occasions. So if we go back to the sentence where we've got number 4, it says, on something occasion was he innocent. So we need a word to refer to the occasions that we've just mentioned. Well, occasion is in a singular form, which means that we need to choose a word which refers to one or the other in the correct context. In other words, negatively. What word do we need? Neither. For question number 5, we need to choose a substitutive form which refers back to prisoner. Being a prisoner affects your whole life, even managed to get a job. So this substitutive term has got to refer to prisoner. We're obviously not talking about a singular, we're talking about a plural amount of prisoners. So which substitutive form can we use here? Of course the answer is few. Very few even managed to get a job. Question 6, just a question of vocabulary. We've got to choose the correct preposition which fits the structure to place somebody in work. Of course, the only preposition we can choose here is in. You place someone in work. For question number 7, this is a real test of your knowledge of relative pronouns and why we use relative pronouns. The relative pronoun that we are using actually is a substitutive form for adults. Reoffending tends to be the norm amongst adults released from prison. Most of these adults, now we can't say these adults, we've got to use a substituted form which is also a relative pronoun. But because this relative pronoun is the subject of this particular clause, it means that we cannot say who, or we shouldn't say who. We have to say whom. And that's why whom is your answer. It's because it's the object of this particular clause. Question number 8 is actually really quite a tricky question. What we've got to be aware of is what role this particular part of the clause is playing in relation to the whole clause and indeed the whole sentence. If you think back to question number 7, you'll remember that I said the answer is whom because we use whom when we have to refer to the subject of the sentence. And the subject of that particular part of the clause in that case is most of whom, in other words, most of the adults released from prison, are reconvicted. And that bit is active. There's an active structure. However, afterwards follows a passive form. They are released, but we don't know who is releasing them. Which means that we need, because that part of the clause is passive, we need a form of the verb be. Now, the correct form of the verb be is, in this case, being. So question number 8, quite tricky. It's a passive in amongst an active sentence, if that makes sense. So we've got active moving to passive. It's quite tricky. If you got this correct, well done you.